This life is tearing me apart. This life is tearing me apart. Remember when I was with you? Love was all we really knew. I saw the beauty in this world all around me. And I have tried to understand. You know, I've done the best I can. I miss the love that once was there to guide me. This life is tearing me apart. This life is tearing me apart. I didn't know there was nothing from the start. After all we've been through, where are you? So now it's over, gone so fast. Still all these pictures of my past. I thought that love was meant to last forever. This life is tearing me apart. This life is tearing me apart. Should've known we'd never get that far. After all we've been through. Falling down the way it used to be in the beginning. Falling down, no matter how many times you are forgiven. Falling down. This life is tearing me apart. This life is tearing me apart. This life, this life, this life, this life.
Ooh, yeah, Monty and the Pharaoh, #1 wrestling podcast. Yeah, when it comes to podcasts, they are the cream of the crop. Yeah, dig it?
Yes, I will be riding high. Yeah.
All right, welcome to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monty Nefaro, only seen here out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, Long Island. Here at Monty Nefaro, along with Indie Music Studio, we want to send our prayers out to the families of the victims who tragically lost their lives a few days ago in Boulder, Colorado. Our thoughts and prayers go out to those families. At the board, Matty Ice, how are you, my friend? What's going on?
Doing amazing as always, and with the weather, doing even better.
Isn't life better when it's warm?
It is so much better, yeah.
That's why when you get older, man, save your money, then you could go to Florida during the winter time, right?
My parents are already planning to move down there.
Genius.
I got a base of operations.
Genius.
That's it, brother.
Nice. Nice. You going to get a surfboard, Matt? Matty Ice on a board?
Surfboard in
I mean,
Florida?
honestly,
Yeah, why not?
it sounds like a
What,
fun
they don't
idea.
have beaches? There's no such thing?
I don't
you
think
can only
there's
surf in
surfing.
California, right,
I don't think
Mike?
there's surfing in Florida.
There's
dude.
no surfing in Florida?
I don't
What, too
think
many
so.
sharks?
Not a lot of big waves out there or anything
Oh,
like that.
wow. A lot of hurricanes and stuff.
lot of hurricanes.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
a lot
Hey,
of
enjoy Florida,
hurricanes.
kid.
And by the way, if you didn't know, that's the star of the show, Mr. Jimmy Farrow. Jimmy, how are you, my friend?
Good, man. What's going on?
Very excited to have UFC, we'll call him the UFC Godfather, Marc the Hammer Coleman.
The
in
godfather
studio.
of ground and pound.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yes, sir.
You were saying to me earlier he should have trademarked that.
Yeah.
Could have made himself tons of cash.
Yeah, he'd be living in a castle. Like in a castle. I agree. Yeah. He blew that.
Before we get to Mr. Coleman, I just wanted to cover a few things.
Sure.
You know,
Sure. What do you got?
WrestleMania's coming up in a couple of weeks.
WrestleMania. Right.
Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil were announced as hosting WrestleMania, and many fans are angry over the fact that the WWE is allowing Hulk Hogan to even be part of WrestleMania. In fact, Hall of Famer Mark Henry makes it clear that Hogan still has not apologized for his racial comments. You got any thoughts on that?
Hey, well, I don't want to steal your thunder, but there was a statement that Hogan made years back, and he said eight years ago, at the time that he said this comment, he said, 8 years ago I used offensive language during a conversation. It was unacceptable for me to have used that offensive language. There's no excuse for it, and I apologize for having done it. Okay, so you asked me, Mark Henry says that Hogan has not apologized. I just read his apology. What do you want from this man at this point? What do you want from this man?
I think maybe
What do you want?
I think maybe they want more. I don't know.
More? What? Like what? Like, go away Hulk Hogan, cancel culture Hulk Hogan, and never come back ever again. Is that what we're getting at?
Well, I don't like the.
You asked me.
Yeah, no,
I don't like it.
Listen, I don't necessarily
I say enough
disagree
is
with you.
enough. What do you want from the man at this point? What do you want from the man?
This country's becoming so
Stop
upside
it.
down.
Stop it.
It's becoming so
Yeah.
upside down.
Stop it.
You've
Look
got,
in the mirror and worry about your own turds and your own bowl.
Well, the big.
Thank you.
Well, use an athlete like Michael Vick, right? Who literally,
Michael
literally
Careful now.
electrocuted dogs, drowned dogs.
Is that all?
Poked their eyes out.
it's that
cut their
all?
ears off.
Right.
Strangled them.
Are they naming streets after him currently?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. That
They
makes
just
a
gave
lot
him
of
they
sense.
just
What's
gave him an
that?
award and awarded him with a multi-million-dollar contract with ESPN.
Oh, I think of two letters, DS, double standard. What the frick, man? Ooh, treading on
So
fragile
is there
grounds here.
Is there something wrong with this country when we're upset with one
something wrong with
guy
this country.
over racial comments, but we're okay with another guy because he says he's sorry that he murdered hundreds of dogs, right?
Right.
Living beings.
Right.
Because he went to jail, did his
You know what
time.
I would prefer, and I know that it will never be done. How about we just leave them both alone and move on?
No, fuck that.
Worry
I
about
don't want to
your
leave
own-
Michael Vick
No,
alone.
I totally get it, but at the end of the day, I think we'd all be healthier if we stopped, well, some of us obviously, if we stopped going nuts on a keyboard every day about other people's deficiencies. Well, we know we have our own. You understand, folks? Stop. Anyway, leave Hulk Hogan the F alone. And Titus O'Neil, what a combo, huh? That's interesting.
You know why that's
interesting.
put together.
What?
You know why
that
that's
I don't
put together.
that I don't know, but they
Come
should.
on.
Really?
Stop.
What? Titus is what?
He's African American, right?
Is that why? Yeah. See, that doesn't occur to a weirdo like me.
That's kind of no, but the
Which
reason
what-
is they're
getting
trying
back
to.
don't worry about other things like
But
this.
they're trying to protect Hogan by putting him with an African American
Oh
male,
my
right?
lord, you might be right, Rabbit.
Yeah,
you might
hello.
be right. You know, if he's hiding in a stove, would I throw in a lit match? You might be right,
That's
Rabbit.
right.
Very good.
I would
Very
like to
good.
thank the band that sings the theme song for Monty and the Farrow, our own Jimmy Farrow, along with his partner Bart Griggs, make the band Wisteria Hall.
sir.
Wisteria Hall sings such great songs as In My Dreams, This Life, Not Far far behind. Here Comes the Rain. You could find their music on Spotify, iTunes, and Reverb Nation, but we're asking the fans out there, go to the Wisteria Hall YouTube page, give them a little like, hit that like button, right, and give them a little subscribe button, show Wisteria Hall a little love.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you didn't notice, this is Monty Nefaro, Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. We can be seen on the Monty Nefaro YouTube page, the Monty Nefaro Facebook Live page, listened to on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor. You can be seen on the Monty Nefaro Twitch TV page, also on New York Cable on Channel 115 every Tuesday from 7 to 7:30, where you will see the legend, the Hammer, Marc Coleman, in the reduced version of our show.
It's condensed and abbreviated.
Sorry.
Why do you do that to me every week?
Early rises on Channel 115, 6 a.m. to 6:30. For some reason, I don't think Mr. Coleman gets up that early, and neither do you, right?
No.
Yeah,
so
I know. That's right.
That's right. He's the man.
But this is a good time for you on Channel 20 at 2 a.m. to 2:30, which on Fridays, right after the show, pretty much, you can catch yourself, and you guys can do the vampire lifestyle.
Right, exactly.
We'll be right back after these commercial break with the MMA UFC legend Marc the Hammer Coleman.
And Nitro's Garage for all your automotive needs. Call 646-675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage. Ask for Jack. The Monty and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah. Jeff Quest, graphics design, custom vinyl lettering, and all your art and video needs. 516-317-8204. That's for Jeff Quest, graphic design.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty Nefaro, seen only here out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma, Long Island. We are honored to have the legend, Mr. Marc the Hammer Coleman. Can we call you the godfather of UFC, sir?
Just don't call me the grandfather. I get that all the time now.
What?
By the way, I am digging the beard.
Yeah.
I am digging it.
Yeah.
It looks good. It looks
like
good.
that,
Yeah.
It looks good.
And the shades, by the way.
Yeah.
The shades.
Well represented.
Sage, Chase, and a cheap beer.
So before we have at it, do you want to weigh in this whole Hulk Hogan racism double standard?
No, look, you guys do a great job over there. By the way, you're very smooth.
Thank you, sir.
Just saying, I enjoy listening to you guys. You guys are smooth, but I think I'm just going to stay out of that. I do know Mark Henry. I mean, he was on. He made the '92 Olympic team, weightlifting, and I was on the wrestling team. So we actually did hang out a little bit.
There you go.
Way back then.
There you go.
Well, again, this isn't against Mark Henry, right?
Not at all.
But,
No.
you know, and for me personally, I don't see color, but I do see double standard, and it is a problem with me, right? Again, I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about animals, but I think, racism and speciesism are on the same level, in my opinion, so I don't know.
Well, you got to forgive both guys. Both guys need to apologize. Michael Vick and Hulk Hogan, they already did.
Right.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
How many times you gonna, come
Right. It keeps coming back on the internet. That's the only reason we brought it up tonight on, for topic.
So you look great. You came off would we call it a massive heart attack with last year?
I don't know what's massive mean. I mean,
Massive, from what was explained to me, massive is any time you have more than an 80% blockage
100% blockage.
Oh, that's pretty
in your
massive.
artery, like
Huh?
when your arteries are blocked.
My artery was blocked, stuffed to the gill. I didn't know I had one. I knew something wasn't right. It happened like at 7 o'clock at night. And I just thought it was going to go away. My arms weren't feeling right. Something just wasn't feeling right. And then about 2 a.m. I started getting a little bit concerned. And called my daughters, and they told me to get my ass to the hospital. And I thought I was going to go there. I thought they were going to run some tests on me, and they're going to send me back home. No, they went in there and took a look, and it was big old artery too, man. The biggest artery, and mine was bigger than most people's, and it was just stuffed. They tried to unclog it. And it was so stuffed they couldn't. So then they're gonna put me on blood thinners and come back and try it again in a month. But then the next morning, some of my levels went up, and they said we're gonna have to go back in and try it again. And then when they're in there trying to dig out the clot. Well, you're awake, and it's like it's giving you a heart attack. That's what it feels like. You're like, ugh. And it was very, it was not comfortable and very stressful because I'm just sitting there praying that, and finally I heard the doctor say, "Oh yeah," something like that, meaning he got a little chunk out, and then he was able to get. He was able to get it all out, clear it all out, and they didn't have to put a stent in for some reason. I don't know, but they said my artery was so big they would have had to get a special stent,
like a super stent.
Yeah.
But
they didn't have to put one in, and just trying to live a little cleaner.
Let me ask you this: you're a legitimate tough guy, right? Actually, a very scary guy too, man. I mean, tough, kick anyone's ass. After you have something like a heart attack, does that kind of like weigh on you, or like kind of feel, you kind of feel a little less than a man type of thing? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's been 3 months.
Is it getting better? I would hope.
I'm doing good. I'm doing great, but at the time, it's still in my head.
Yeah, sure.
It's in my head.
Sure.
Sometimes I can feel chest pain and I get all freaked out,
get scared.
But
it's a mortality check, man. It's got to be
hard. You nailed it.
It's got to be hard.
Does it make you feel less of a man? Yeah, kind of.
Understood.
Totally understand. And again, I'm a heart attack survivor myself.
Yeah.
We spoke about that before the show.
Think about it a lot, don't you?
I think about it all the time. First of all, I think about how lucky I am to be here on the earth. And I will tell you on a personal level, obviously I didn't know you, but we pretty much had heart attacks at the same time. I was in the hospital and I was reading about you.
Oddly enough.
And, I could almost say that you were an inspiration too, right? And meeting you, I feel like you're an inspiration. I just like your approach and the way you are as a human being. So God bless. I'm glad you're still with us. And again, I know how it feels. You don't feel like the same. And we're scared. We're humans, right? We want to live. We got families to live for. But on a positive note, we're glad you're here on Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, and we're glad you shared with us. Farrell?
All right, let's go back to the very beginning about you getting your start in MMA. If I can say this, just coming from studying up on you for the last at least couple of weeks, you got into this game at the age of 31.
Yeah.
I have to. While your timing historically is perfect, you are the first UFC champion. Your timing is perfect.
Perfect timing.
Did you ever wonder about what it would have been like to have been on that level in your 20s doing this? Because to me, it's like, man, I really wonder what it would have been like to have you doing that in a UFC level, like during your 20s. How does it get started with MMA for you?
I was 31, but I was still in my prime.
Absolutely.
I was still a world-class wrestler.
Absolutely.
Almost made I made 92 Olympic team.
Right.
96. I beat Kurt Angle in 1995. I beat Kurt Angle. He was the world champion that year.
Hello.
I came out of retirement because my club told me, you got to wrestle, Coleman, or we ain't going to send you your check anymore. So I showed up at the Sunkist Open. I hadn't wrestled in like a year and a half. Kurt Angle was kind of taking over the weight class. Mark Kerr and Kurt Angle were battling out after I left. I was in my prime, and I blew it. I wasted those years. But, I went out there, and I beat Kurt Angle without hardly any training at all. And then, but what am I going to do, man? What am I going to do? I'm sitting there thinking, what am I going to do? There ain't no money in amateur wrestling. None. And then, sure enough, I caught the first UFC, and I was in shock, man. I couldn't believe it. I thought it had to be fake. I thought there's no way this can be a real sport, and if it is, why in the fuck am I allowed to cuss?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why in the fuck did they wait so long to do this, man? It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, but something ain't right here.
Right.
But why'd they wait so long to?
I remember
to
though
do
when
it?
that first came out, right? It was on paper. Remember the boxes and you had to say if you-
Absolutely.
Me and my wife were watching that. I think we were dating at the time, and then I think the first match we ever saw was Severn, and I mean he pounded some guy like to death, and I was like, "What is this?"
Taktarov? Oleg Taktarov, he almost killed that man. The Russian.
Yes.
Yeah, well, he likes to call himself the Godfather of ground and pound, but I'm like, no, Dan, you didn't do it like I did it.
Right.
I coined the phrase.
Yes, you did.
I'm
Yes,
going
you
to
did.
take his ass down. I'm going to pound the shit out of him. Fucking shit out of him. That's what I said. But my mom beep that out. Can you got a delay? You can beep out my cussing.
We're not beeping out
We don't
anything, but
beep.
only for cable television. We do a lot of work on that.
Here
so we'll
comes the
beep it.
horn. We don't beep out shit.
There you go.
There you go.
But no, I watched the first one, and then sure enough, it was real. Watched the second one, and I was just licking my chops, man, saying, this is me, this is my money, this is what I was born to do. I wish it was here when I was a 5-year-old kid. I'd have been training MMA for sure.
5 years old.
Hey, 5 years old, I already knew what
backyard.
5 years old, I already knew what the hell I wanted to do.
There you go.
I mean, I knew I wanted to.
There you go.
To be in the NFL. I wanted to be in the major leagues in baseball, and I wanted to be an Olympic champion. I wanted it all. I did not like to lose. I was
Right.
not a good loser, but
Right.
whenever I did lose, I just told myself, okay, I'm gonna get that motherfucker. I'm gonna get that fucker back.
So it's funny you bring that up.
year.
It's almost like you're reading the script. So tell me about growing up. Tell me about your parents. Like, tell me what made the Hammer.
I got the best parents in the world. They never. I mean, I can't say never, but it seems like they never missed one of my wrestling matches or one of my football games or one of my damn baseball games. Never. I mean, I'm over in Turkey in the World Championships, and we're poor. We're poor. When we don't have a lot of money, I look up in the stands and like, I didn't even know they were coming. How'd they get to Turkey? You know what I mean? How'd my mom and dad get there? And the Olympics, they made it to the Olympics. Got a little help. Some people did some fundraising, so my whole family was at the Olympics. They never missed a thing. And I don't know, man. I just knew I didn't like losing at nothing. I was a super shy little kid, and I knew I didn't like getting nobody. I didn't like bigger, older kids being able to bully me or pick on me, and I was going to get big enough and strong enough to whoop all their asses, and that's what I did, man. That's what I did. If there would have been MMA, I'd have been in it for sure. But I wanted to play in the major leagues, in the NFL, whatever. But even though there wasn't a sport, I still wanted to be the toughest man in the world. I didn't want to have to fucking back down from anybody.
Well, I think you
especially if I got myself a hot chick on my arm.
Damn straight. But you accomplished that, my friend. You did. You did accomplish that. All right, we'll be right back after this commercial break with UFC legend Marc the Hammer Coleman. You need a body shop? You need engine repair? Auto Excellence. Collision Specialists. 631-261-6420. That's 631-261-6420. Auto Excellence.
Elm Logistics. For all your logistic needs, call 631-299-3595. That's 631-299-3595. Elm Global Logistics. Pride, performance, and partnerships. And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestler and broadcast, Monty Nefaro, only seen here at Indie Music TV in Long Island, New York. We've got a special guest, the UFC legend, Marc the Hammer Coleman, in studio.
All right, Hammer, I want to throw one by you. Let's go back to the very beginning. The very first champion in UFC heavyweight history is you. You defeat Dan Severn, if I'm not mistaken, by submission.
One hell of a scarf neck choke, boy.
Ow. Did you see that, by the way?
Yes,
Ow.
I did.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what, old Severn fought that pretty damn good, because I was doing that on practice to people, and it didn't take me more than like 2 seconds. Lock it up, crank it, and they were tapping out. Old Severn, he fought that for like a good, almost a minute, and I was damn near ready to let it go, because I knew if I didn't get this, my arms were going to be trash. But then finally, old nice guy Dan Severn, I know it's on there pretty good. I can't believe he ain't tapping. You know what I mean? He's just tough dude, man.
Already.
Tough dude. I can't believe it. But he reached up and started poking me in the eyes. And when you're desperate, man, you do anything.
Sure.
He's a nice guy, but
Sure.
hey, man,
Sure.
there was no way out. He was done. And after he poked me in the eye and Big John slapped his hand off or whatever, he fucking called it a day. And he told me, he said, I wasn't choked out, Coleman. He said, I just thought I thought my neck was going to get separated from my body. Because I was fucking strong, man. I was so strong that night. I could have beat anybody that night, I think.
There you go. There you
I
go.
have to think that way.
Look,
but
I'm sure they're all tough. Every one of them that you probably stepped in the ring with, they're all tough guys, man. You can't be a UFC.
not everyone.
Not everyone? Okay.
No,
where
I
would
had a couple easy ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Where would you rank Severn? Like, if you had to.
He's up there, man. He's
Top
up there. But,
penthouse, basically? Tough?
you know, I fought a lot better. I fought like I've fought over 10 world champions.
Okay.
Fedor twice, Shogun Rua, Randy Couture, Severn, Fry, Krokop. And these are some fucking killers. Igor Volchanchin. But Severn, he didn't like to train.
Really?
I mean, he was 38 years old.
Okay.
So he was a little bit past his prime by then, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And he really wasn't a big fan of training that hard. He'll tell you himself. He had over 100 wins. I mean, pretty amazing what he did.
Yeah.
But he said, I get my training.
Do you think he underestimated you that night, or he just...
No, he just, I think he did train for me.
Okay.
He likes to exaggerate, but I think he did train for me that night. He just didn't. That's it, man.
Didn't happen.
I was the better man.
There you go.
I was world class, and he's the only guy that I was out there, no gloves on. Everybody thought we were buddies. Everybody thought me and Sam were good buddies. We respected each other. We're both wrestlers, this and that, but good buddies is out the door once that cage locked. And well, it was only one fight that night. When you got 3 fights, you wear the gloves because you got to protect your hands. But one fight with Severn, they didn't wear no gloves, and everybody was saying, "Oh, they're good buddies, and they're not going to hit each other." Oh, hell no, man! I would have smashed the hell out of him if that's what it took. But he just gave me whatever. The side choke was there, and I've been killing it. Back in warm-ups, I've been killing it, and there it was, and you know. He was just, he was tough, but like I said, he was 38, 39, and, you know, we're good friends. Me and Severn are real good friends, a lot of respect for each other. I don't think he put in, you know, he didn't train like I did. I mean, he didn't train as hard as I did, and whatever.
Did you realize at the time, becoming the first UFC heavyweight champion, did you realize at the time what this was going to turn into? This has turned into, that company is the WWE equivalent to fighting, to cage fighting. I mean, did you realize, or did it take some years before you realized, wait a minute, I'm the first one?
No, I knew I needed that first one. I wanted that first one so bad. I knew at some point that was, you know, you don't forget the first. But and then we as you know, we were in New York, and they shut us down. We loaded up the planes. They spent I don't know how much money, flew us all down to Alabama, and I was just like, God, I just need this fight to happen because I was so ready.
Right.
And I just needed to be the first. I knew how important it was.
Right.
To me, it was going to be important first, and can't say I knew it was going to get this big, but my personal thought was it's the greatest sport in the world. It should get this big, and it's going to keep getting bigger because it's worldwide. It's like soccer. Everybody can fight. American football is American football. They're huge, but these fighters are coming from wherever. I remember walking out after my first UFC 10. I won the tournament. I remember walking out just kind of like in a dream saying, wow. First thing I said is, them Russians are coming, man. That's what I was thinking because
the Russians are coming.
The Russians are coming because I'm telling you, they was badasses in wrestling, man. They were so badass in wrestling, and that's what I was saying. Oh man, the Russians are coming. I got to get some wins in before they come.
They were a problem in Rocky IV, so we kind of knew. We knew
there was going to be a problem, Rocky.
We kind of knew right from the beginning the Russians are going to be a problem,
Mark,
one way or the other.
Mark Yard Ape 99, fan of the show, asks, "Are you still in contact with Tank Abbott and Don Fry?"
Well, yeah, I'd stay in touch with. I mean, not like I'm calling them up once a week and just chat for an hour, but no, we all just.
How was that call? You call up? Hey man, remember when I beat your ass back 3 years ago? You still feel all right?
Hey, Fry. I mean, he literally. He's the toughest man I ever fought. Not the best.
He's awesome.
Not the best.
He's awesome.
But I almost had to kill him.
I believe it.
No, I'm not kidding you. I mean, I couldn't believe they wouldn't stop his fight, man.
I believe it.
But he was. But no, he was.
Wasn't he willing to come out of the stands to fight you or something like that? I mean, what's the story with that?
Fill us in. Yeah, he was not happy. He was an angry man, and he did not like Marc Coleman just because I beat him. Right. I'd see him at a small show, and what's up, Don? He'd be like, yeah. But then finally, like about 3-4 years after it happened, he came up to me and he's like, oh, man, puts his hand out. He goes, hell, I can't hate you, Coleman. We're too fucking much alike. I said, yeah, we're a lot alike, Don. But
the light bulb went off.
He was so angry. He watched that fight every day for a couple years, and he says it just took years off his life.
Wow. Well, let me ask you, when Dan was in studio, Dan said he didn't remember his wins. He just remembered his losses. Right. Are you the same way?
I remember them both.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in wrestling, in my amateur wrestling days, I can remember my losses a lot. A lot of my losses, I can remember those in detail.
More so. Okay.
But fighting, man, you got to remember the wins too. I mean, it's true. I mean, well, Dan's got 120 wins. How the fuck are you going to remember all that?
That's pretty fun. You're right. Look, you look like you have a great relationship with your daughters. Can you tell me about your daughters at all? When I go on social media, it looks like what a nice relationship you have with your family.
Three daughters, 21, 23, seniors in college, about to graduate, never been in trouble. Just, the best, my life. But I got a 6-year-old from another woman, and it's kind of hard because not everybody's getting along. I mean, I'm trying to get along, but sometimes other people make it impossible to work it out. But I'm as close with my oldest 2 daughters as I've ever been. I mean, I'm sure she'll be calling me tonight. We talk every day. I see each other almost, as much as we can. But my 6-year-old's a little She's a little sweetheart, a little beauty. And they're all talented. My oldest daughter she could have been the UFC women's champion. She is that fucking badass. That freaking strong. She seems as strong as me she is an animal. But then her sister, all-star shortstop, all-star point guard in basketball, very athletic. But the oldest one was a gymnast, national champion, level 10 gymnast. Now that's a brutal, brutal sport. I remember when she was about 7 years old, I was showing Rich Franklin's wife. I said, guys, you should show. My daughter had it's the sickest six-pack you ever seen in your life. And somehow they got posted on the internet, and kind of took some heat for it because everybody was accusing me of abusing her, feeding her steroids, and abusing her. I'm like, no, my daughter does what she wants. She's a badass killer, and gymnastics is hard, man. It's a hard job, and she just had it. But then I can't never say never. They're only 21 and 23.
Right.
When they come back from college next year, I hold the pads for them. I wrestle with them. They're tough, but...
Would you want them to get into that lifestyle?
Nah, kinda. But they would have to commit to it, man.
Right.
It'd be pretty hard. Because they're just going to... you got a nurse. She needs to get in there and make some money. She's been busting her ass. Nursing is a very hard major.
How hard was it being on the road back when they were little?
Man, I couldn't stand leaving, man. I couldn't, and I didn't leave that much. I trained at home. Right. I should have been. If I could do it over again, I'd just go.
Right.
But I didn't trust anybody with my kids, so I didn't really have too many training camps. I had my own training camps. I was my own coach in Columbus, House State Wrestling Room, and I made it work. But it could have been a lot better. I could have been a lot better, but I did pretty good. I did okay sometimes.
So let me ask you a question. Your daughter comes home. She brings a boyfriend home. Is this guy shitting his pants when he realizes who his father is?
Man, dudes ain't scared of me.
What?
Get the fuck.
I wouldn't even go on the same block. What are you talking about?
They might be. No. If I don't be nice to if they bring a dude around and I'm a prick, well, they just won't fucking bring him around. I have to be nice. I have to be nice to these guys.
Yeah, but I'm not even the point of you being nice or not, but it's like they know who you are. It's like, oh shit, I gotta go meet the man. It's like,
maybe, I don't know, I suppose, but like I said, my daughter's made it clear to me, don't embarrass me, Dad.
Oh, my God.
So they run the show. Dudes ain't afraid. You know what controls their brain.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'd be shitting a brick. Anyway, we'll be right back with the legend Marc Coleman in just a minute.
Holy stick shift, Batman. M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Sport and non-sport cards, wrestling items, autographed items. We buy, sell, and trade. M&J Video Games and Collectibles, located at 1049 Queen Street, Southington, Connecticut. Call us at 1-860-479-9223 or 860-93-GAMES. M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Oh, what's up, Mike?
Hey, Jimmy, what's going on?
Nothing much.
Jimmy, I love this country.
Oh.
I love to buy made-in-America material. And I love to buy my artwork at TAG, T-A-A-G, Made in America, 14 East Broadway, Port Jefferson, New York, 11717. The shop at the corner. All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty Nefaro, only seen here out of Indie Music TV, where we have our special guest, the legend, Marc the Hammer Coleman. Mark, what do you got next to you, man? Can you show the fans? What belt is that you got on the side over there?
Right there it is. I mean, can they see it?
Let me see. Can you see it?
Bring it over you.
There you go.
Look at that,
Yeah,
baby.
UFC 10. UFC 10, man, I tell you what, I couldn't believe it. I just beat 3 dudes his ass one night. I almost had to kill the guy in the finals. And there ain't no cops coming. I'm not in no trouble. They gave me this big old belt. They gave me a 60 grand check, and the fans are loving me. I'm like, this is the coolest sport ever. It's the greatest. I just, but it's the greatest. But I just wish it would have started, like you said. I wish it would have started 20 years earlier.
No, was Dana White in charge at that time when you first started?
No, Bob Meyerowitz.
Okay.
He got the. I mean, he had. I mean, they had problems, man. We had struggles. Shows got canceled. John McCain, human cockfighting. They almost went under. I mean, they almost threw in the towel. But if that UFC, if we didn't get that, when I won the heavyweight championship, UFC 12, we had to fly from New York to Alabama. We didn't get in until 4 or 5 in the morning. Fight the next day. If that show didn't happen, it might have been all she wrote, man.
Right.
So they had to spend a lot of money. Bob Meyerowitz spent a lot of money getting this shit going.
So let me ask you this: in your prime, Lesnar in his prime,
Yeah,
could you beat Lesnar?
I think so. What the hell? Yeah.
There you go. Ground and pound them.
Ground and pound Lesnar.
Get down, Brock. Boom, 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 boom. It's a ding, ding. Why not?
I'm not saying it'd been easy, but that's a bad dude. But
Yeah.
of course I'm going to bet on myself in my freaking prime.
Right.
I mean,
Just out of curiosity, because I am curious about stuff. But where do you put Brock? I've had arguments with UFC fans that say Brock Lesnar doesn't deserve any credit for what he did with UFC or his impact on UFC or his history or what. What do you think about? What is your opinion on Brock Lesnar's UFC
people
career?
are jealous or something. That man,
what? I don't get
that man brought all kinds of attention to the damn sport.
Right.
That's simple. Big, giant, monster, badass, savage killer.
Preach. Yeah.
But sometimes he got a little tired.
There you go.
Well, that's for
Well,
sure.
there you go.
No, but he was dangerous, man. He was so strong, so big, so powerful. His hands were like, makes that thing look like a baby's hand. His hands were the biggest hands I've ever seen, man. Huge. You get hit with that. But he did pretty good, but he didn't have enough time to dedicate to it. He was doing the pro wrestling thing, so he had to do a little bit of everything. But if he would have committed to MMA, who knows how far he could have went. But he did fine, man. He did great.
Is Fry the toughest man you've ever been in the ring
Well,
with?
just I've been in the ring with 10 world champions.
Right.
So they're all tough. But I'm
Absolutely.
saying, literally, I was really UFC 10, third fight of the night. My hands were the only thing on my body hurting. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, for sure. You ain't
My
kidding.
hands were killing me, man. If
Think
I
about
wanted,
that.
I wasn't going to wear the gloves. Thankfully, I listened to somebody for once. My coach, he begged me to leave the gloves on. After the first fight, it only lasted 2 minutes, but I came back and said, these gloves are getting in the way.
Yeah.
He's like, you got to keep them on. Luckily, I did because I fought Gary Goodrich the second fight, and that dude's head's hard. I had to hit him about 50 times before he threw it in. But then, oh, man, we got to the finals, and it was just ground and pound for 11 minutes, 40-some seconds. And I'm looking at this dude's eyes, and they're pretty much swelled shut. And I'm just like, gosh damn, this is crazy what I get myself into. Because I was getting tired. It was a lot of work. 11 minutes, so I was getting tired, and I was kind of like thinking, man, this dude, maybe he's going to reverse the situation on me, you know what I mean? But he was he was on his back defending himself still. I'm throwing headbutts right in his face. Bam, just solid headbutts. Legal. Boom, smashing him. And it got to the point where his hands started, they were up here defending, then they were getting down here. And it got to the point where I'm looking out the corner of my eye, Big John saying, well, you going to stop this thing or what? And then all of a sudden, okay. Bam! Just throw another headbutt, and then finally, Big John stopped it. But, ooh, man, he was tough. Fry's tough. You seen his fight with Takayama? That was legendary.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the most brutal thing. I think that's the most brutal fight I've seen. I'm not sure. It's up there. Let's put it that way. That's rarefied air brutality.
Yeah. I think they might have agreed. I'm not saying it was a work or nothing, but I'm saying I think these two might have agreed, okay, let's just go out here
and kill each other.
And fucking hit each other and see who goes down.
Oh, my God.
It's beautiful, man. It's
Haymaker City. It really was.
Punch, but that's a famous fight, boy.
Did you realize at the time when you first were getting into this that you were a pioneer? Did you realize your style was going to be copied till the end of time, basically? Because when I see everybody today, those elements come from you.
Well, I knew wrestlers were badasses. We always carried a chip on our shoulder. I don't care if you got a 118-pounder or a heavyweight. They all thought they were put a couple beers in them, and we all thought we were big guys, But tough. I knew wrestling. We were always jealous because there's a karate school in the corner of every freaking street, and we kind of knew that karate shit ain't gonna work, But they were getting all the attention, this and that, but. I like the ground and pound. I don't like to lay and pray. So a lot of wrestlers came in there and it just wasn't for them. I made it look so easy that everybody and their mother thought they could do it. Well, as we find out, a lot of wrestlers can, a lot of them can't. Just because you can wrestle don't mean you.
To me, it kind of changed the sport, right? Because I remember in the beginning, right, the Gracies, a lot of those matches were just tie-ups that were just were going nowhere, and I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work, but I think guys like you and Severin changed the sport. I think.
Yeah. Well, everybody did a little bit. Everybody added to it.
So you kept yourself in great shape. Would I be out of line to say that you were on HGH or steroids at some point in your career?
You're fucking out of line. I can't believe you just asked me that.
I'm getting out of here.
Really? Hey, listen.
I'm going.
If you want to beat my ass, you got to take care of him first.
No.
Give me time to run out of here.
You need to take care of me at all. I'm like a toothpick in the wind.
I answered the question right there. I just answered it good enough.
There you go.
Well, do you think it gets a bad rap, though? A lot of people blame steroids and HGH for a lot of problems.
It depends on the person.
I've seen a lot of documentaries where it's actually helped people tremendously.
Depends on the person.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
HGH?
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it, but it's certainly they call it the wonder drug. I mean, it has benefits, and testosterone, TRT. I think if you use it in that moderation, I think it can be very beneficial. But when you abuse anything, it's going to possibly cause problems. So, yeah, look at these bodybuilders. Of course, they're on it. Mr. Olympia, sick looking dudes, man, just freakish. Well, a lot of them die young though, but you kind of gotta take that chance to be the best. You want to be the best, I knew that when I was my age, I knew I was going to be walking crooked. I've had, 4 hip replacements, neck surgery, knee surgery, probably need some back surgery, but when I was a little kid, I looked at my heroes and I said, they all walk a little funky, you know what I mean? A little crooked. I said, I'm going to be walking crooked, because if you ain't walking crooked, you probably sucked.
Look,
if you ain't walking crooked, you just gave up the takedown and got pinned, you know what I mean? I didn't give shit up.
Yeah.
I fought it, but I'm doing all right. ain't complaining. I just wish I would have worked harder, actually, a lot harder.
Was the lifestyle like being a rock star in some ways? I mean, I'm sure the temptations behind the scenes had to be ridiculous for you.
Hey, coming from the wrestling background, we never got a dime. We never got any fans. The only fans were there was your mom and dad. Wrestlers just didn't get nothing. We was doing it to be the best, man. Get that gold, that fake gold medal. It ain't even gold. It's fake. We were doing it to be the best. So going from that to they're strapping a belt on me, handing me a 60 grand check, and everybody screaming praise. The cops didn't come. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty, yeah. I liked it. I ain't gonna lie, I liked it. I wanted, my goal was to be the best in the world at something. I didn't quite make it in wrestling. I took second in the world, but it just left me a little bit empty-handed, and then I got my chance to be the best in the world at something with MMA. And yeah, I mean, that was my dream.
So needless to say, it's all worth it, right?
Hell yeah. 100%.
Fan out there asked, do you still have the title belt that Antonio Inoki gave you?
Oh.
No. They just gave that to me for show, but they took that bitch right back. I'd have loved to keep it. They took it right back, and then they came up to me like 6-8 months later. The Japanese came up to me and said, Coleman, do you have that belt still? I said, you guys took it back. They kind of, they lost it. Somebody stole it.
That's great.
Somebody lost it or somebody stole it, and they came up and they asked me if I still had it. I go, no, man, you guys took it off my waist as soon as I got backstage. But that was a cool belt. It was a nice little cool belt.
You did some pro wrestling, of course.
Yeah.
We saw, Severin and Shamrock work for Vince. I'm just curious. Were you ever contacted by Vince?
Yeah.
What's the story behind that? How come
I
I never
blew
saw
it.
you? You blew it.
Yeah,
okay.
they knew I was a bad seed. I was.
Did you get to go to the office at least? I mean, did you meet Vince?
Never met Vince, but I met.
What, Triple H?
No, I met a lot of the pro wrestlers.
Oh, okay.
I mean, all of them. Steiner was one of my favorite. We were
Scott Steiner.
Scott Steiner.
I don't think he was in too good with them back then.
Well, what happened is they hired Shamrock first, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then they hired Severn.
Right.
And then they hired Tank Abbott.
Right.
Well, 2 flops, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Severn didn't get over, did he?
No.
No, Severn didn't get over, and Tank Abbott was so bad.
Right.
They paid him a 3-year guaranteed contract. He didn't have to do nothing.
It was rough. Yeah.
But I was kind of next to the line because I was the champion. I was kind of next in line, and I'm pretty sure I would have killed it. I mean, I would have. I think I was pretty good over in Japan. I mean, got the big pops. You know what I mean? But no. Just rumors about me liking to drink some booze too much and stuff like that. They seen me as and I did go to one of the shows, all drunked up, and so I kind of, like I said, I blew it.
Where's Vince?
They didn't give me I didn't get my chance, but
Right.
I'm pretty sure I would have killed it.
Right.
I wanted to wrestle Kurt Angle so bad.
God, that would have been hot.
I don't know why it didn't happen in Japan. We could have did it over Japan. We would have went 25 minutes, and we would have beat the hell out of each other.
Did you ever have any contact with Kurt during those days when you were wrestling? Hey, Kurt, got an idea here.
Yeah.
Hello. What did Kurt think about it?
Well, they came close. I mean, Kurt, there's going to be the 4 Horsemen or whatever they was going to call us. Kurt, myself was in the play, and I can't remember, or maybe a Don Fry, and
oh my God,
that would have been incredible.
Yeah,
Sounds
well,
nuts.
we were going to be the badasses, but it just it didn't come to fruition, man. And like I said, I kind of just blew it that one night. I got a little too hammered.
So, Mark, let me ask you about that. When does the drinking spiral out of control? Like, what happens? Like, how does it creep up on you?
It creeps up on me. whatever that's worth.
Mm-hmm.
It knows how to creep.
It's an evil drug, and it'll get you.
Right.
It'll get you, and then it's hard to get off. Any drug out there.
Sure.
Any drug is hard to get off. Any addiction's really, really hard, but alcohol's hard, man. You know, you don't know how to function without it sometimes. You think you function better. I used to think I functioned a lot better when I was drunk. But then I watch myself on the interviews and I sound like an idiot.
Felt good at the time, though, right?
Huh?
Felt good at the time, right?
I thought I was good, but then I'd watch it and I'm like, oh, Jesus, man, you dumbass. But, so a lot of people say, Coleman got CTE. No, I was drunk. You know, because I talking slow, slurring, talking slow. Oh, this guy took too many shots to the head. I really didn't take that many shots to the head. I didn't, compared to most people, I took hardly none. Took some, but not very many. Not very many, so I don't think I got CTE.
A lot of people look up to you, right? And we all have problems in life. Do you have any advice for people that maybe are struggling with alcoholism that you could recommend? Like, give some words.
You gotta be ready to commit. I mean, you gotta be ready to commit to just not doing it. And yeah, you gotta get help. I mean, AA. I've been to AA meetings. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, and everybody's the same in there, man. We all got the same, and everybody's got the same stories and hiding beer, and everybody's done the same thing, you know. But you gotta dig deep. You gotta find hard, and you gotta have a reason to stop. And you gotta do it, man. You just gotta do it, and it's gonna be tough because, who don't like to have a little buzz on every once in a while, you know?
Absolutely.
But it can, every once in a while, it can become every day, every night, every morning.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
It'll get you. So I battle it every day. I battle it every
Keep
day.
fighting
I'm
the
an
good fight.
alcoholic, but I'm gonna keep fighting. Keep fighting.
With that, we'll be right back after this commercial break with legend Marc the Hammer Coleman. Jimmy, I gotta take a dump.
What?
No, I mean I need a dumpster.
Well, for all those needs, you need to call Big V Dumpster Rental, Long Island, New York, 631-900-DUMP.
You want to star in your own success? Call QuickCast. www.quickcast.com. 866-7-CAST-NOW. That's 866-7-CAST-NOW. QuickCast.
Star in your own success. That's right, folks. Canine Corral for all your dog daycare and overnight care. Call 631-549-1544. That's 631-549-1544.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monty and Faro, seen only here out of Indie Music TV every Thursday from 9 till 10 p.m. and once in a while some Saturday shows, depending on if we have a special guest or not. But right now we have a very special guest, the legend Marc the Hammer Coleman.
Alrighty then. You know, this guy kind of irritates me, but I'm going to ask anyway. Did Joe Rogan try to take liberties on that little snippet we've all seen? The millions and millions of folks have seen. Did he try to take any liberties there? When he, did he catch you off guard or something? Because he clearly got thrown all the way to Paramus after that. But I'm just curious. Were you like,
did that thing go viral?
It's all over the place. I was like,
It keeps popping back up, man. It keeps popping back up.
It's all over
But
the
it's
place.
like the guy
Look,
that...
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was looking for some attention. You know, I'm at his. Somebody brought this up. Coleman looking for attention, which so what? I was, but
Fine.
yeah, he's signing autographs after his show, and I kind of just barged my way back here, and next thing you know, well, I had a bad hip, man. My hip was really fucking bad. I mean, it needed surgery, or it was popping out and shit like that, so it was kind of scary. But whatever. And I was drunk. Jesus Christ. Of course I was drunk.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, just whatever. Just, he's going to play around a little bit. But, yeah, he hit the arm drag on me, took my back. And, honestly, I was terrified about what's he going to do. I mean, is he going to try to fucking do something stupid? My hip's going to pop out? So I had to. I even called a timeout. I said, wait. I don't want, just wait, because I don't want my fucking hip pulling out, because that's the worst pain you could ever imagine. Right. Your hip, oh, God, you're in the most severe pain ever. They got to get you to the hospital, put you to sleep, and then they got to wiggle that bitch back in, man. But I was sitting there saying, I even, he took my back. I said, timeout. I even called timeout, but then I realized, well, fuck timeout. I turned and faced him, and I honestly thought that I just gave him a fucking gentle shove, right? Which I don't think it was that hard. I mean, it was hard enough, but I think he was off balance, and it looked a lot worse than it was. Right. But then I do watch it in slow motion, and it looks like I shoved the fuck out of him.
Now, was he upset with you at all, or?
Well, if you watch it, you can see him when he gets up off the wall. You can see his face get real angry, real mean. But then all of a sudden, he looked right at me, and I'm like, oh. I was immediately saying, sorry. Right. Sorry. And then he came in, and we hugged it out. But I thought he was going to be pissed. I heard he was pissed. But then, then I heard through the grapevine that, he wasn't pissed. He was actually, he just couldn't. He said he couldn't believe how fucking strong Marc Coleman is. And I've had a lot of people say I'm the strongest man they've ever touched. Lots of people. So I'm not surprised. But, he got his fans, boy, they get all over me, man. His fans, they think he could have kicked my ass. I mean, Marc Coleman's so lucky he didn't. What if he would have threw a fucking spinning back kick? I'm like, well, that wouldn't have been too smart. I mean, what are you talking about? They act like they act like he could take me down with one kick, you know what I mean? I said, dude, you guys ever see Maurice Smith hit me 50 times? I didn't go down,
Wow.
But, no, we're good.
50 times.
Oh, God, he beat the hell out of me,
50
man.
times. Ow.
He beat the hell out of my legs, man. It was so fucking pain. But, no, I mean, me and Joe are good. We're good. I apologized to him. I mean, I literally didn't mean to do it. And
Did you ever go on Rogan's show?
No, I'll get on there someday.
Okay.
Now that he's on, I don't know about this new thing. I mean, they got new rules, right, on whatever he's doing now. A lot more political.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he got the $100 million deal, but he's got rules to follow now.
Interesting.
But no, I'll get on there. I'm just not in no hurry. I'm not in no hurry to do anything anymore. Fucking slow.
Well, so much for this. What can we look forward to seeing you in the future? Fuck that. I'm just chilling out. What is there anything down the road with the pandemic coming up for you, or you just playing it by ear?
Pandemic hit a lot of people hard, man. Financially, it hit me hard. It couldn't come at the worst time. The Arnold Classic in Columbus is last March, and that's right when they started shutting shit down. Right. And March is a big month for me, man. I had like 8 or 9 appearances lined up for that. Matt Brown was fighting at the end of the month, which I'm going to get compensated for helping him train, and a couple other appearances, and it's just gone, man. And I needed to get back up, so because fortunately, I mean, everybody says Dana White, the UFC owes all us old motherfuckers, He don't owe me shit, man, really. He don't owe me nothing.
There we go.
He don't owe me nothing. I got it. I mean, fuck, I'm here right now. What the heck?
There you go.
I can make money, plenty of ways I can make money. Just got to listen to Dan Severn more. He's my counselor. God damn it, boy.
He's smart.
He's so damn smart. He's smart. The biggest hustler in the world. He'll do anything for $200.
Yeah. Real quick, thoughts on Dana White while we got you here. I mean, is this Vince McMahon or what? I mean, as far as the business, what he's done for the UFC.
Yeah, he's badass, man. Dana White is badass. I've always admired his work. This guy gets it done.
He does.
It's a lot of work, man. He don't get much sleep, I would imagine.
How is he towards you behind the scenes? What's your relationship, if I can ask? Because I have no idea.
Fine.
Good?
Fine,
Good?
like nothing but respect. He gives me all kinds of respect, and when I see him nowadays, he just treats me fine.
As he should.
He likes to call people dumb, though.
Okay.
He called me a dumbass a few times, but I have to admit, he's right.
Oh, you got me.
Would you consider Ronda Rousey the most important thing that ever happened to UFC?
No.
I agree with that.
No.
Not being
Big
rough
time.
Ronda, but
It was big time. She was big time. Big time, but
absolutely.
and I can't say what was bigger, so maybe she is, but I just immediately my first thought was no. And not that I don't like her or anything like that,
it's
but
fine.
I just there had to be something
it.
bigger than that.
Hey, can we do this with him? What is the Hammer's Mount Rushmore of UFC fighters? You got 4, like Mount Rushmore. You got 4 fighters that in your opinion, best represent the history of UFC. Who are you putting up there? Who are the 4 guys?
Bones Jones.
Okay.
Khabib.
Okay.
Kamaru Usman's got a little way to go, but that's a bad dude. I don't want to leave nobody out. I tell you what, Randy Couture was a fucking legend, man.
Oh my God.
He won the belt back a couple times. I mean, he don't get enough because he's kind of banned. You don't hear enough about him because him and Dana White got the issues, but man, that dude was badass. What he did. I like Fedor. Fedor for 10 years, man, nobody touched him. So I could keep going. I'm just going to leave it at that. Stipe, that's a bad dude. We'll see what happens here. Ngannou, man, this is I can't imagine the nerves that are going to be going through people's body that night. Stipe Ngannou, that's a big fight. Everybody's talking about that one. They're going to get some buys on that.
I can't wait till crowds start coming back to these events, man. Get life back to normal. With that, we want to thank you for joining the show.
Absolutely.
Great interview. Great human being. Thank you very
Thank
very
you.
much.
You guys are awesome.
Thanks,
Thank
brother.
you.
You too,
You guys
man.
are
Thank
awesome.
you.
You've been
Alright.
watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestler broadcast, Monty Nefaro, seen here only out of Indie Music TV. You could catch us on the Monty Nefaro YouTube page, the Monty Nefaro Facebook Live page. Listen to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, and catch us on New York Cable Television on Channel 115 every Tuesday from 7 to 7:30, Saturday 6:30 to 7 a.m., and Channel 20 from 1:30 to 2 a.m. Real quick little announcement. One of our sponsors, Tag, who just joined on with us, on May 23rd, they'll be having a special event with Mr. USA Tony Atlas.
Sweet.
And Monty DeFaro will be there to help them along. So, any parting words, Mr. Farrow?
I just want to thank the Hammer once again for coming down here and for igniting what I know is going to turn into many months of researching and continuing to fall further in love with the UFC. So thank you for that.
You see what you've
You
done now?
created
Now
a
I got to
monster.
listen to this guy like every
guys.
day. I'll be like, you know what happened here.
Now I'll be screaming for Liddell. I'll be screaming for, all these other guys. I would have liked to have seen him in Shamrock, but we don't have any more time for this. Anyway.
I would. That's the one fight I really would. That's the one fight that I wish I would have got. Me and Shamrock.
What would have happened? Prediction.
Ah, man, I'm gonna beat his ass.
Hey, listen, Tyson and Holyfield are
It
going to
ain't
fight.
No, they're not. The Holyfield.
I'm gonna beat his ass. I mean, he's a big, strong, badass dude, but I'm just a better wrestler. I would have got him down. And hey, there's always a risk. He's pretty damn good at them submissions, but I'm gonna have to bet on myself again.
There you go.
I always bet on myself if I'm prepared, and yeah, I think I would have ground and pounded old Shamrock.
Yeah.
Well,
We did spar one time. Me and Shamrock did spar one time in the gym, like 4 rounds.
How'd that go? Ow.
Put him on Queer Street.
Well, you had a better way to cut out than that. Once again, thank you, Mark, for joining us. We'll be back Sunday at 10 a.m. with WWE superstar
story. Put it on Queer
Gang
Street.
Grell. Thank you, Marc Coleman.
Is that bad to say queer?
No.
No.
Okay.
No. Later.